What is up, guys? It's Kent from Spartan Media Reviews and SpartanMediaReviews.com, here to discuss the high-flying basketball anime, the basketball which Kuroko plays, otherwise known as Kuroko no Basket. So immediately I was intrigued by this show because I'm a huge fan of watching and playing sports, especially basketball, because the athletes are able to combine finesse with power and create a sport with plenty of action and entertainment, and Kuroko no Basket really helps scratch that itch in this particular medium. Our story of Kuroko no Basket is a pretty basic one. It follows the basketball team of Seirin High in their quest to become the greatest team in Japan, having to go up against many powerful schools and the Generation of Miracles, 5 prodigies who are gifted at certain aspects of basketball, whether it be speed, power, or something else. What makes Seirin special, however, is their addition of 2 first years. We have Taiga Kagami and the Phantom Six-Man that the Generation of Miracles acknowledges, Tetsuya Kuroko. For as basic as the story is, it is very enjoyable, with games spanning across many episodes and seconds on the court that can last many minutes of the episode or the entire episode itself. Comedy is also present, which also adds to the entertainment of this anime as well. What Kuroko no Basket does that makes me very happy is that they make certain characters like gods on the court with abilities that make LeBron James look like Kwame Brown. Obviously, they are exaggerating the story as these players are only in high school, but it really added to the overall action and enjoyment of the story for me. However, Kuroko no Basket is obviously not without flaws. Some episodes are not needed and they're only there for fan service, and the pacing of the series itself can be very slow at times. Some episodes, in my opinion, went too fast while others dragged on for too long. If there was a balance between the two, that would have been better. Overall, the story was something that was very enjoyable for me, and I wanted to keep watching the episodes to see what would happen next. For how many players that are focused on in this series, there actually is plenty of development, especially for the players of Seirin and the Generation of Miracles. We are able to get backstory from many players, and as the show progresses, many characters, especially Kagami and Kuroko, get lots of development, which makes their personalities more detailed. Also, supporting characters are able to get developed in multi-episode spans when they are going up against Seirin or the members of the Generation of Miracles. Also, when the main characters lose, we are able to see more development by making them work harder to attain their goals. Some characters, however, are not needed and are there only for comic relief and really don't add anything to the story, but that has improved as Season 3 has been able to make some of these supporting characters more worthwhile. Kuroko no Basket is animated by Production IG, whose works have included Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex and Standalone Complex Second Gig, Usagi Drop, Eden of the East, and IGPX, just to name a few. The animation really doesn't disappoint and is probably one of the high points of the series. They just make basketball look cool. There are plenty of colors in this series with nice shading and many effects. They also have CGI, which actually looks really good in this series. As a person who isn't the biggest fan of CGI in an anime, this really looked good and I was very impressed with it. They obviously did not scrimp on their budget and made each game look like they were fighting a battle similar to that of Dragon Ball Z. Character styles were done nicely with different shadings that made them look very detailed. Now, the openings and endings for the series were animated beautifully as well, especially the later openings of the series. Opening 3 comes to mind immediately as my favorite animated opening of the series. Since an opening of a series gets me excited to watch the show, I'm very happy that these openings looked as great as they did. Overall, I loved the animation, and it was one of the higher points of the series for me. The soundtrack to Kuroko no Basket was another high point of the series. The soundtrack was very centered on making you wonder what was going to happen and made the game sound like major wars or battles were going on. The openings and endings, however, were the best part of the soundtrack for me. I loved all the openings and endings, especially from episode 3 onwards. They really got me hyped up to watch the show, and the songs really had great replay value. The voice acting was done very nicely as well for the most part. Characters' personalities and emotions were portrayed well by the actors, and it really added to the experience of the show. The only thing that bothered me was the English. Some characters sounded good speaking in English, while others were very poor. Overall, the soundtrack and voice acting was another high point of the series for me. Now, after everything that I've said, would I give Kuroko no Basket my recommendation? Absolutely yes. Kuroko no Basket is a show that you really shouldn't pass up on if you want something that will keep you entertained for the entire series, or if you're really looking for a good sports anime, as I think this is one of the best. There really wasn't a dull moment in the show, and it kept you on your toes for the entire time. You can check out Kuroko no Basket fully on Crunchyroll for free if you want to watch it with ads, or if you have a paid subscription, you can watch it in its entirety without ads as well. Now, if you like this review of Kuroko no Basket, please hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. You can also subscribe for more anime reviews and follow me on Twitter and Hummingbird to stay up to date with what I'm doing. Now, with all that said, I will catch you guys in my next review. Thank you for watching.